Kierkegaard, to be that self which one truly is. He then writes, I'm quite aware that this may sound so simple as to be absurd. To be what one is seems like a statement of obvious fact rather than a goal. What does it mean? What does it imply? He goes on to point out that he observed a tendency on the part of the person in therapy to move away from, hesitantly and fearfully, from a self that he is not. As one professional man put it, I finally felt that I simply had to begin doing what I wanted to do, not what I thought I should do. This is a complete reversal of my whole life. I've always felt I had to do things because they were expected of me, or more important, to make people like me. The hell with it. I think from now on I'm going to just be me, rich or poor, good or bad, rational or irrational, logical or illogical, famous or infamous. So thanks for your part in helping me to rediscover Shakespeare's "To thine own self be true." A little later, Dr. Rogers quotes Kierkegaard's description of the individual who really exists. An existing individual is constantly in process of becoming, and translates all his thinking into terms of process. It is with him as it is with a writer in his style, for he only has a style who never has anything finished, but moves the waters of the language every time he begins, so that the most common expression comes into being for him with the freshness of a new birth. It's important that you read this small but important book, to get the full meaning of how people who find difficulty in finding themselves manage to fight their way through. Dr. Rogers writes, it seems to mean that the individual moves toward being, knowingly and acceptingly, the process which he inwardly and actually is. He moves away from being what he is not, from being a facade. He's not trying to be more than he is, with the attendant feelings of insecurity or bombastic defensiveness. He's not trying to be less than he is, with the attendant feelings of guilt or self-depreciation. He's increasingly listening to the deepest recesses of his physiological and emotional being, and finds himself increasingly willing to be, with greater accuracy and depth, that self which he most truly is. It seems many people find difficulty in realizing that it's perfectly all right to be what they really are. It reminds me again of Thoreau's great comment, we have only to move in the direction of our dreams to meet with a success unexpected in common hours. The way I see it, becoming what we are is a process that should go on as long as we live. It's not something that becomes ended, finished. It involves change, a moving away from what we are not toward what we are. It can mean repudiating our old selves and old beliefs. And in becoming what we are, we should keep in mind that it is usually through service, whatever service it may be that fits our own unique genetic set, that we'll find meaning, at least in our culture and age. In his summary of